Hi, my name is Jessica and I have no idea what I'm doing. Today I'm going to be testing out the Alter Ego Cosmetics Aurora palette, which is the dupe for the Natasha Denona, I think, Sunrise palette. I had placed an order a little while back. One video is already up. Spoiler alert, I liked the Goddess palette. And I do have the eyeshadow primer on today on both eyes. But don't worry, I will test this palette with my usual primer and with no primer just to see what it does. This is what it looks like. Let me just take the clear plastic out that does nothing. I'm super excited about this shade right here. So that's definitely gonna have to be one of the ones I try first. I guess I'll do swatches first to see what we really have going on here. So we have Radiance, Stellar, Spark, and Sunburst. Dawn, Shine, Luminary, and Ray. Look at this one. I'm so excited. Do I have shades like that? Probably. But I'm excited anyway. Nova, Cosmic, Star, Brilliance. Flare, Soul, and Twilight. And there we have it. I don't think the swatches are anything spectacular, but I felt the same way about the Goddess palette, and then I really liked the Goddess palette, so I think this is going to be good. Here are the swatches, and of course I will give you the other view as well. I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics brush with a 3 on it and start with Sunburst, which is the matte yellow. And that's going to be my transition shade. So it's pigmented, but it's not exactly the same shade that's in the palette, if that makes sense. Right, like that doesn't match this. It's still pigmented. And I didn't set my eyeshadow primer. There's no shade for me to do that with. I mean, I could have tried, but not gonna do that. But it is blending out anyway, so that's awesome. Love that. Then I'm going to take my IBY crease brush and go into Twilight, which is this, like, I don't know what that is, like a reddish brown, burgundy brown. And that's gonna go in my crease. I feel like same thing with this one, pigmented, but not exactly what's in the pan. Definitely having to build it up. But it might also be because I put the yellow underneath. But that is typically how I like to work. I like to lay the lighter colors down first and then like put in the deeper ones. I'm curious to see how different this shade is from like the deep berry one in application. But we'll find out soon enough. I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics brush with a 6 on it, and I'm just gonna try to pack this in a little more at the innermost part of my crease. It's a little better. So you see that I tried to shape it a little bit, but I think I'm going to go back in with the BH Cosmetics brush with a 3 on it and Sunburst, just to see if I can make this yellow a little bit brighter again. That works, right? I think so. Then I'm going to take a little bit of Twilight on my pinky, and I'm going to put that on the outermost corner of my eye. Today's look is pretty simple. As you can see, these are not my typical kinds of shades, but I wanted free shipping and I wanted to try it, and like I said, this duochrome that I'm about to use, I was really excited about. And before you say that buying one palette for one shade is a bad idea, this was only like $16 or less, and sometimes one duochrome costs that much anyway, so it's fine. That's my excuse. And I'm just taking my BH Cosmetics brush with a 6 on it, same shade, just to make sure I really get in there. Could my mother be any noisier in the background? She can, actually. Then I'm going to take Dawn, which I'm super excited about. And it's like a mulberry blue duochrome. And I'm gonna put this on the inner 2/3 of my lid. I feel like this might really pop with like a glitter primer or something, but I'm not about that life for the most part. I think I would have liked that berry shade in the crease better with this, but that's okay. That's personal preference. That's not much to do with the shades. Then I'm taking my BH Cosmetics brush with a 5 on it, going back into Sunburst, and I'm going to put this along my lower lash line. Then I'm taking my smaller version of that brush from Wish, going back into Twilight, and I'm going to put that just even tighter to my lower lash line, and keeping it on like the outer half. Yeah, that shade's definitely lighter than I expected. But it is a dupe palette, and I don't have the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, so it could be that that's what it's like in that palette and they tried to mimic that exactly. I wouldn't know. Then I'm taking my BH Cosmetics brush with a 5 on it again. I'm gonna go into Dawn, and that's a lot. I'm just gonna say, let's see if it applies on the lower lash line. And it does to a degree. We all know that I like my fingers, so I'm gonna, there we go, give it that little extra help, that little shimmer and shine that I want. And then using my dollar store brush, I'm gonna go into Brilliance, which is like a peachy champagne. And I'm gonna put that as my brow bone highlight. So happy to have a brow bone highlight. And I want to try it as a highlighter as well. So I'm using my Moda contour brush. I'm gonna put this on, and I'll take a picture in natural lighting so you can see better, because I don't think you can really see anything, and frankly I can't either, so I'm gonna have to go into natural lighting to see if, oh, I see it. Oh, can you see it? I'll go in the natural lighting as always. So far nothing seems to be a cream, which I'm happy about. but we'll see for sure as I go along. I feel like this could be Desert Dusk 2.0. Okay, so I feel like the shades wore differently from each other. Like the yellow shade wore really well, the champagne wore well. The duochrome, again, it just wasn't as bold as I wanted it to be, and of course it did spread a little bit. That other shade, that like dark shade, maybe it's just not supposed to be as dark as I thought it was supposed to be, because it was just kind of more medium than deep, you know what I mean? I would say so far I like the Goddess palette better, formula-wise, and maybe color-wise too, but definitely formula-wise. That being said, it's not like it wore poorly, it just didn't wear exactly the way I wanted it to wear. And I did use the Alter Ego eyeshadow primer for it last time, so today I put my Milani eyeshadow primer on this eye, and I have nothing on this eye as I usually do for eyeshadow testing videos, but I have a feeling I'm not gonna like how it applies or wears with nothing. The Alter Ego eyeshadow primer, it's not that it's bad, but I do like the Milani one better. I think it does a better job. So that may have also played a part in how it wore the other day. I'm gonna try to put on all the other shades in the palette. I think on this side, I'm going to try Soul with my BH Cosmetics brush with a 3 on it. And this is like a macaroni and cheese kind of color. Like at first I thought these two were similar, but I think they're gonna be more different than I thought. Let's see. Yeah, this is definitely more of an orange. I'm going to use this as my transition shade. There we go. That's nice. Oh my god, what are the kids outside doing? Then I'm taking my IBY crease brush and I'm going to go into Nova, which is like the deep berry matte. And let's see what happens. I feel like a tropical smoothie. So I feel like, again, this one's definitely more pigmented than that other deeper shade, but I feel like you have to like build it up and pack it on. Oops, so low. Well, I can't really stand properly because I'm still trying to clean my room and everything, so I'm just like, I have one foot on one side of a bunch of makeup boxes and one foot on the other side. But yeah, maybe on the other side I should try putting the darker colors down first. So I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics brush with a 6 on it and just go deep into the crease so I don't lose the orange shade. And again, I don't know what the Natasha Denona palette is like. So if this is, you know, acting the same way, then they got a spot on dupe, I guess, because that's what they wanted. I'm gonna go back with this brush and back into Soul just to not lose that orange. Blend the berry out a little more. Then I'm gonna clean that off and blend out the top here. Then I'm going to take Cosmic, which kind of looks like this one, but a shimmer. It's a little lighter than the berry, I think. Yeah, it's kind of like a light red. And I'm going to put that on the outer third of my lid. Then I'm going to take Spark, which, like a rose gold, maybe? I'm going to put that in the middle. Blend it in. I would say, I remember the last palette, the Goddess palette, I was wondering how it would compare to like the old Bad Habit eyeshadow palettes. I feel like this formula is closer to that, even though as far as I know the brands aren't related. Maybe they are, but I just get that vibe when I look at this. Then I'm going to take Radiance, which looks like a light pink. Yeah, it's like a shell pink. And I'm going to put that on the inner third. I hope you guys are having fun out there. You're interrupting my video. Okay, I feel like you do see a difference. I mean, it's, you know, it's a gradient, but there is some contrast there, which I like. Then I'm going to take my dollar store brush and go into Brilliance and use that as my brow bone highlight again. Note to self, I have to film earlier in the day in the summer. Way too much noise out there. Unless you can't even hear it, but I doubt it. I bet you can hear it. Then I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics brush with a 5 on it and go into Shine, which is like a pale beige yellow. And I'm going to put that across my whole bottom lash line. This could work as a setting shade for some. Probably not me though. It's a little too yellow and a little too dark. It's like if the kids aren't my kids, it's like, ugh, go away. I'm trying to do something here. Then I'm going to take my smaller version of that brush from Wish, go back into Nova, and just line really close to the lower lash line. Alright, not my typical look, but it's cool, and it matches my shirt, of course. Then on the other side, I'm going to take Star, which is like a peachy kind of color, like a clay maybe, and I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics brush with a 3 on it. It's a lot. And I'm going to put this as my transition shade. Then I'm going to take my IBY. Then I'm going to take my IBY crease brush and go into Flare, which is like a burnt orange red. Also kind of like a clay color. And I'm going to put that in my crease. I love my kindergartners. I miss them so much. Now that this school year is over. I'm just going to take a little more of Star on my BH Cosmetics brush with a 3 on it. And put a little more just so I don't lose it. Oh, I forgot to start with the darker shade this time. Oops. Oops. Then I'm going to take some of Flare and put that on the outer third, or more like the outermost corner of my eye. I'm also going to take my BH Cosmetics brush with a 6 on it and just really get in that gap. That is probably not the shadow, it's probably me. Then I'm going to take some of Ray, which is a bright red, and put that on like the outer third of my lid. Let's see, can you tell the difference between this one and this one? I feel like no. Like when coupled with the other shades, you can see that this is a little more berry. This is a little more rusty. But if I had the same crease going on, I think you wouldn't be able to tell. But again, if this is what the Natasha Denona palette looks like, then they're just trying to copy it. Then I'm going to take Luminary, which looks like a light bronze, or just a bronze. And that's gonna go in the middle here. Ooh. I'm not a bronze person, but as far as bronzes go, it's pretty. Quite molten. I'm gonna blend that. And then I'm going to take Stellar, which looks like a true champagne. And that's going on the inner third of the lid. And of course, blending into the other shades. Then I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics brush with a 5 on it, go into Ray, and put that on the outer third of my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take Luminary, put that in the middle. Oh, I got it in my eye. The first one, that red one, that is the worst thing to get in my eye. And then I'm going to take Stellar on the inner third. Then I'm going to finish with a little bit of Brilliance on my inner corner. So, my thoughts. I mean, we all know that this is not my perfect color story by any means. This is very like red berry leaning and like with some neutral and like warm tones and stuff. That being said, it is pretty. I do think you can get a few different looks out of it depending on what you combine. Like these are somewhat similar, but it depends on what you do with it. I wish it went a little bit darker, but again, if it's take a drink of Poland Spring every time you hear me say that. But if this is what the Natasha Denona palette is like, then if it's like that, then they did a good job, and they're not, you know, I can't fault them for not making things a different way, because the point was to make them exactly that way. This is not a bad palette by any means. I think it's a nice palette, especially, you know, for the price. It's just not exactly what I expected. I liked the Goddess palette better. And again, I just feel the need to point out, that remind you, even though I've said it, that this is not my perfect color story. All right, that's it for today. I hope you have a good day no matter what it is you're doing. Bye. See you next time.